Hey everyone, Dominic here, bringing you a raving report. This time we've got 4,500 points, Orcs and Goblins versus the Highborn Elves. The game type we played was Dawn Assult, with Hold the Ground as a secondary. I apologize in advance for the images. I was trying a little something different here, and they turned out a little bit blurry, so let's get into it. Here's just a quick look at the table after deployments and scouts. Obviously, this was the side that I couldn't deploy in, and that's the side that the Highborn Elves couldn't. For terrain, we've got a forest, piece of impassable, there's a field here, a hill, and another forest finally. Quick look at the deployments. For the Highborn Elves, he's got 2 bricks of Sea Guard with his BSB on a Sky Sloop in the back there. He's got a big unit of Sword Masters with his general who's got the Careening Tower upgrade. Over here he's got a unit of Ryma Knights with the Great Eagle behind. And lastly, I didn't take a picture, but he's got a unit of those Core Knights, and I forget what their new name is, but they're just over here on the edge of the table. For Orc and Goblins, we have 2 Pump Wagons, a unit of Common Orcs with additional hand weapons, and a Common Orc Chief in the unit. We've got a unit of Iron Orcs with an Iron Orc BSB. Over here we have Common Orcs with bows, my Iron Orc General on a Warboar Chariot. We've got a unit of Cave Goblins with nets and bows, as well as the Wizard Master Cave Goblin Witch Doctor of Witchcraft for this game. And we've got a Git Launcher, Common Orcs on Boars, a Great Green Idol, and then there's another Git Launcher over here with those scouts that you saw earlier. After a little bit, I ended up dropping, and going second is what my goal was. So here's a quick look for the movements for Highborn Elves. He moves up a little bit towards the center objective there, trying to get within range. Sets up his knights over here, quite a ways off from the Great Green Idol. One thing I didn't know or forgot when he deployed, there's actually a character in here too, and that comes up a little bit later, but he is there. We go into magic phase. He gets the Favor of Medleys, tries to do the Oaken Throne, which I believe I stopped the Oaken Throne, and that was pretty much it for magic. I think he may have got Healing Waters off or something, but magic this turn wasn't a big, but it gets a little bit bigger later on. For shooting, he shoots off with the 1 unit of Sea Guard, manages to kill 2, and for some oddity I passed my panic check. Shoots off a couple of Orcs over here with the 2nd unit, as well as the Sky Sloop shoots at those bulwarks and did a couple more wounds. But that's pretty much what the table looks like as we go into turn 1 for Orcs and Goblins. So over here, the Pump Wagons fly up the sides there a little bit. The Iron Orcs are taking a little bit of cover inside of the forest. And the Forest Goblin Raiders are just moving up here, more or less being a distraction than anything else. So that's what that looks like. I move up over here, well within arc. If he wants to take that bait, that's fine. One thing I didn't see is the Eagle can actually see me back here, and the Great Green Idol moves up, being safe from the Ryma Knights. And at this point, I figured if those were just the core Knights, that's fine with me if he wants to try and bring those in. Don't think he would, but he can go ahead. The rest of this stuff, my center moves up. One thing I did here is the general moves up so that he can actually, if he does move up aggressively in front of me, which I kind of anticipated him doing, I can actually charge out and around. I've got enough space. So we go into magic phase. We get Twisted Effigy on these guys, so he's at -2 to his casting rolls as well. And then we do Bewitching Glare, so we try to do the battle focus shots I think he stopped that one. Actually, I think that one went off this turn. One of these turns went off. Yeah, this turn. And that was pretty much it for magic. I did the Evil Eye on myself both times on that chariot, just to give him that extra range. Like I said, if he does come in, I can go through and charge out in the front. But that's what the table looks like. We did some shooting and picked off a few Sea Guard in the one unit, and that was pretty much it. So Highborn Elves, turn 2. Like I said, I didn't see the eagle. The eagle charges in. I did a stand and shoot, and he actually took a single wound from it. And just like I kind of thought, he moved up pretty aggressively with those Rymanites. Elsewhere, the 2 Sea Guard blocks. The one is just sort of staying where it is. The Sky Sloop, I think that's not its final position. I'm pretty sure it does some other maneuvering around. So there's that charge that made it in. He goes into magic phase. He gets Raven's Wing. He tries to cast over here. And I liked where he was because he moved up. So I believe I stopped that one. What do you do here? He casts the Favor of the Ladies again. Gets that one off. Gets the Oaken Throne off this time. And gets Healing Waters off on the Rymanites as well. So I didn't have, for the rest of this game, I had absolutely terrible luck trying to shut his magic phase down. And there's one that gets really, really bad. He goes into shooting. The Sea Guard finish off those Force Goblin Raiders. The Sky Sloop, I think is what it was. Actually, I think this was the other. Can't remember which order. I think the Sky Sloop might have shot off the Raiders, and the Sea Guard may have shot off that pump wagon that was here. Either way, pump wagon's gone. One of them is. The Raiders are gone. We fight this combat, and he kind of whiffs a little bit. He only does 1 damage to me. The spiders do poison and put the last 2 wounds on the eagle. Passes his panic check, and he's fine there. And that's what the table looks like. So as we go into turn 2 for Orcs and Goblins. Just like I said, we've got that charge that could see the Rymanites. Was a little bit far still, but I figure with the +2 movement on the chariot, I can make it in. Should be pretty plausible there. Which he does. And that's it for charges. Great Green Idol decides that now that I've got some chaff over here, blocking those core knights, that I still was unaware that there was a character in the unit, comes up to make sure that the general does his thing. These guys reform to ranks, and the pump wagons and the rest of this side move up. I still kept a far distance, well, decently far distance for infantry anyway, between me and the sword masters, but I was okay if either one of the Sea Guard wanted to try and make that charge. So that's what that thing looks like. There's me chaffing up his unit, minus the character, and moving these guys so that even if he charges, the 12-inch overrun makes it to here just in front of him, so unlikely of him getting there. Going to magic. We do Twisted Effigy again on the, I believe on the Sword Masters to give him the -2 to his casting rolls again. And then we tried to do random movement on those guys, which he dispelled. We gave these guys, well, I think I tried to do Bewitching Glare, actually. I don't think it actually went off. We tried to do Bewitching Glare to give this guy Battle Focus, and I'm pretty sure that got stopped. We do Evil Eye to give myself the +1 movement, and that's pretty much it. We do some shooting. Pick off, the back rank is gone on the 1 unit of Sea Guard, and that's pretty much it. I think that was, what are we doing here? We fight this combat, and he challenges out with his unit champion, which I have to accept. I crush him when he passes his check because he's steadfast. And that's kind of what the table looks like as we go into turn 3 for the Highborn Elves. So for Highborn Elves, those Sword Masters, they declare this charge. They make it in, and his character, as you'll see, he charges over into the flank of the Great Green Idol. This guy actually luckily fails his charge. I didn't get to find out what kind of nastiness he had on him, but that's pretty much it. So those guys make it in. This guy fails. For movement, these guys move up down the hill, they were 5.5 inches away. Made sure not to get any closer than that, because if I call the war cry my next turn, he won't be able to stand and shoot. So that was a really good move on his part. Also blocks this flank and blocks the flank charge from my common orcs with the bows that had reformed to ranks over here. The Sky Sloop is kind of hanging out in the center, just given leadership range. It goes into magic phase. I stopped the Oaken Throne with one of my dice, and I can't remember what he cast this turn. I think he did the favor of Malaise again, and one other thing. I can't remember what it was, though. But either way, so he's got the favor over here. Goes into shooting phase, knocks off that pump wagon with shots. Combat, he wipes out the back 2 ranks of the Iron Orcs. My Iron Orc BSB issued a challenge against his general, thinking he was kind of a squishy wizard. I failed my armor saves. I got a 1-up rerollable on that guy, and he puts 2 wounds through. I think I put a wound through him, but then I take off his back rank plus, I think, 2, but 2 or 1. Either way, I was down, but I was stubborn, passed the check, and that was pretty much it. So as we go into turn 3 for Orc and Goblins, these guys here, they declare this charge. Didn't need to call it the war cry or anything like that. Like I said, he was already 5.5 inches away, so there was no real point. He stands and shoots, and he kills 10 orcs with the stand and shoot, which was a little bit more than I thought he was going to do there. I'm not sure what the averages work out to be, but that one hurt. I pass my panic check and make it in. Over here, seeing as these guys are still around, we conga line just to get in the way of them, blocking both the character and the unit. And I'm not sure what this is taking a picture of here. Yeah. So the rest of the movements here, the bow orcs decide to move up nice and close over here just to make sure that these other Sea Guard can't really escape or get anywhere, and that the Sky Sloop won't be able to fit. The other thing I did is I used my Banner of the Relentless Company on these goblins, and I actually launched my single Mad Git out through here, and he only made it to just before the unit, I believe. Didn't actually go through. Yeah, I didn't actually have the Mad Git model out either, so I just used a dead orc. So he made it out there. And there's that. Just showing the chaff. Actually, I forgot there was a charge here. There was another charge. The flank of the Rymanites. That Great Green Idol went to the flank of the Rymanites. I obviously didn't take a picture of it. There it is. But it went to the flank, made that one in. So it was helping out that general. There's that. There's the chaffing. We went into magic phase. Sorry, I'm bouncing all around here, but magic phase, I think we did the Twisted Effigy on his caster again, and then we gave the Battle Focus Shooting against the Sky Sloop. I had both the Git launchers that wanted to try and take some shots at him. So yeah, we go into shooting. One Git launcher does a misfire, and I rolled a 1, so we couldn't shoot for the rest of the game, but I used the Orc Bully to re-roll that, and it just takes another wound, so it takes 2 wounds on one of them. The other guy just missed. And that was pretty much it. We go into combat. This time we don't wipe out the Rymanites. We do a considerable amount of damage to them. He breaks. I overrun, or pursue rather, from the Great Green Idol. Only the Chariot General makes it into the flank of those Sea Guard. Looks like that. So now we got a bit of a kerfuffle going around here. Over here, he kills my BSB, wipes out all but the unit champion, and decides not to pursue because there's a good chance he's not going to rally anyway. I run through the forest. I'm just basically on the other side. I don't know if I took a picture. That being destroyed. Oh, no, I'm missing a picture here. There was. I'm going to go back again. Jumping all around. So in this combat up here, he goes first. And remember on that stand and shoot, he caused 10 wounds. With his spears, he causes another 10 wounds. So that unit was only 29 to begin with. So I've got 9 guys and a character to strike back. I kill a few of them, but it's not nearly enough. I break, he runs me down, and these guys, that's why they reform, just to see or pivot, I guess, rather. Pivot just to face the flank so that they can make these charges. And that's kind of what the table looked like at the end of that. So there's that. This is going into Highborn Elves turn 4. So for Highborn Elves turn 4, the Swordmasters declare a charge against the Orcs who flee, and they pass their redirect to charge into the Cave Goblins who also flee, and we get away. That's pretty much it. The Core Knights come into the Raiders just fine. That Sky Sloop comes around behind kind of whatever's going to happen over here, still keeping inside of range at the BSB, and that other single character just swoops around here as well, trying to get into the backfield. We go into Magic. He gets favorite abilities off again. I believe he gets the Oaken Throne off, and there was another spell he got off there. I think it was Raven's Wing, which he moved, but it didn't. It was just a little bit of an extra move, nothing too crazy. Tries to do some shots here, I believe, at the last remaining Iron Orc. Misses. The Sky Sloop puts 2 wounds onto the Great Green Idol. These guys finish off the Goblin Raiders. And over in this combat, I'm just attacking rank and file. Surprised he didn't issue a challenge there, but kill off a whole rank of guys. He reforms to face, and then he suffers more because he landed on top of the Madgit that was there. But other than that, that's what the table looks like as we go into turn 4 for Orc and Goblins. So we got this charge going in. I think I may have declared the war cry this turn just to make sure that this charge made it. Lucky both my Cave Goblins and the Orcs rally this turn, as does the last remaining Iron Orc he rallies, pretty sure. The only other move is the Great Green Idol kind of moved up. I think I moved him up a little bit closer over here, just trying to get in a range, but I did a bad play with his final positioning, and I don't know if I got a good picture of that or not. We go into Magic. We try and do the random movement on these guys, and which fails, and then we do Bring the Pain off on this unit, which goes off. We do some shooting this turn. The Git launchers hit 1, kills off his character on the Elven Horse, and I put a single wound onto his BSB. So now they're kind of running a little bit scared because he's out of range, out of arc to charge both those Git launchers, and he's down the guy that was there to do it. So we go into combat. I win We chase him, but he gets away. Over here, I wipe out another whole rank of dudes, and I decide to give him my flank just to maximize here, and I'm not sure why entirely I did it. I think it was something here with positioning of this guy and being able to reform on the spot and escape some other positioning. I don't know why, but either way, I gave him the flank. So that's kind of what that looks like. That's what the table looks like as we go into turn 5 for Highborn Elves. So those Seaguard decide that they're going to chase after, or run down this last remaining Iron Orc, and I decided to flee because if I figured I roll a 7 or so, he's actually got a fairly long charge. I get away, and I've got a chance at least to try and rally, even if it's on half leadership. It's better than just straight out dying, is what I figured. But I fled 2 inches. So I did not get away. They run me down. They do a pivot after they do so. The Swordmasters are just kind of facing over here. They're not sure what's going to happen over here, and I mean, he's got lead on points at this point, kind of, so they're just sticking out like that, getting ready to face that Great Green Idol. The Sky Sloop decides that it's going to take some cover from the impassable terrain, as well as try and take some shots over here and cause me to panic off the table was his goal. So we go into Magic Phase. He goes ahead and gets Oaken Throne off again, and can't remember what else. Maybe got Favorite Malaise off again, and possibly another spell, but didn't take good pictures of the spells that were going off. Goes into shooting, shoots off 2 of the Boar Riders. Surprisingly, I passed the panic check. I forgot to mention his Knights did rally there as well. We go into combat. We fight over there. I still kill a couple, not a full rank this time, actually kind of whiff. But he's sticking around on Steadfast. And that's kind of where that ends for Highborn Elves. We go into turn 5 for Orcs and Goblins. So the 3 remaining Boar Riders go into the rallied Core Cav. Over here, we actually declared a charge over here against the Seaguard from the flank here. It was like a 10, failed it, so they didn't get in there to help break Steadfast. And that's pretty much it. We go a little bit of moving. I don't know if I took it. This guy does move up here. Gets nice and close to these guys, but I should have gotten closer, apparently, and I totally forgot about their cover fire shooting. Either way, go into Magic Phase. We get Twisted Effigy off on his guy again for the -2 casting rolls. That's it for Magic. Shooting. We're trying to shoot at this guy. I think we put a wound on him. That was about it. So he's pretty hurt now. And over here we go into combat. I wipe out. Well, I didn't wipe him out. I win combat, and we chase him, but I missed the board edge by about an inch, which I was hoping to get away there just that he can't shoot and get those points. We go into this combat, and I continue to whittle away at the units. They're very close to not being steadfast anymore. And that's it for that. Turn 6 for Highborn Elves. He just sits here, and he's going to try and take some shooting at him. Like I said, I should have got closer with this Great Green Idol to those Swordmasters. That's pretty much it for that. He does Magic Phase, turn 6, and this is kind of a picture of just how badly I was rolling to stop some of his stuff. He rolled a 3, I suppose. The Twisted Effigy kind of cancels out his bonuses because he's got the +2 to the first dice roll, the first casting roll that he does. So that negates it. He only needs a 3 on this because of High Elves. So he passes it. I throw 2 dice at it, and I roll Snake Eyes. So We had a good chuckle about this and just how bad of luck I was having this entire game. Gets Healing Waters off on the Sea Guard, just making it a little bit tougher for me. And he does some shooting, shoots 2 of the remaining Boar Riders over here. The last one panics off the table. He does some more shooting, puts a single more wound onto the Great Green Idol. And we continue to fight this out. I knock off some of the guys that he had healed up, but he's still there, and I think he won't be steadfast that last round as long as I don't, even if he decides to finally challenge out with his unit champ, if he has him. I can't remember, but that's what that's looking like. So we go turn 6 for Orc and Goblins. And like I said, I declare this charge here, and I should have got closer because he can cover fire. He shoots, cover fires, and I think he puts another wound on him with the cover fire. This time we make that charge into the flank, and the cave goblins just move up to come and help out for whatever it's worth. Over here, we put 2 more wounds onto his sky sloop. Came really close to finishing that off. And then we go into combat. So we fight the Sea Guard one first. I knock him down to, I think, 3 guys that get away, or no, I run him down, and the distance between my overrun, or my pursuit rather, into this combat where I could fit was 10 inches, and I only rolled 9. I was hoping if I could make it in there that the general would, smash these guys apart a little bit, even if he wants to challenge out with his well, I don't think his character would have challenged out, but one other thing, we fought this one. He killed me before I got to swing, but just for shits and giggles, I rolled the crush attack against his wizard, and it hit, and it wounds. He failed to save, and I rolled all of the wounds to kill it. Unfortunately, it didn't matter. It didn't happen. That's where the game ends. We do up the points there. It was actually a pretty tight one for points anyway. I think it was only like 500 points difference or something close to that. But he did capture the secondary because he was here for more turns than me, close to that second. So it ends up being a victory for the Highborn Elves, 15-5. Really fun game, and it was pretty hard to stick in there with some of those bad dice rolls, but entertaining nonetheless. So, really good game. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle. If you guys got any comments or tips on this new format, if anybody's got any cool images they want me to use for the logos here for the armies, send them my way or let me know. That'd be perfect. Stay tuned for the next battle.